Hey ladies and gents, welcome back to my channel. Here to do a review on A Different Man, showing on Max. I'm not sure if this is a Max original, didn't really pay attention. But this is, every now and then I come across a movie that's different and sparks conversation. And that's what this movie, A Different Man, did. Alright, so the main character has this disfigurement on his face. And he's very self-conscious about it, which is, normal, I guess I would say. Given that we live in a society where if you have certain disfigurements that stand out, you're going to get certain kind of attention a lot of times. So he's this actor who, does local plays and everything. And like I said, he's real insecure about himself. So they have this doctor who, I looked him up because I said they got his hair all wild and free. He looks biracial, but we're going to say black. Doctor who has this experimental thing where he can change someone's disfigurement and they can have a quote-unquote normal face, right? So the man tries it, and it's a slow process, like your skin peels off and all that. And so we see that he's this handsome guy and he's getting this attention and he starts to feel confident in himself. Cue this other man that has a face disfigurement. And when I was looking it up online, he was actually born like that. He's a twin British actor who has, I forgot what the name of that disfigurement is called, but that's his actual face, right? He's playing in these plays too, right? So what we see while watching this movie is this actor who has a disfigurement that has no intentions of changing it, is very confident and outgoing, and people know him and he has friends, and he actually ends up getting the woman that the main character wanted to get. And we start to see the main character envy him. And he keeps this mask of how his face used to look, and he wears it sometimes when he's acting because it feels like he now feels like he could be confident like this other man that has this disfigurement, right? And he ends up, spiraling towards the middle of the movie, ends up killing somebody. It was definitely something different that I don't normally see, because it brings up the argument or the discussion, personality versus looks. Now, we're not going to sit here and act like looking a certain way does not open up doors for you. A lot of times people do treat you differently. That is a fact. But there are people, despite how they look, can still be the life of the party, be extroverted. I think with this guy, the main character in this movie, I think he was introverted as well as having this disfigurement. Because when he got rid of this disfigurement, he still was kind of the same person. It didn't change him. Whereas the other guy who's had that all his life, he actually was married before, divorced, and he ended up getting with the woman that the main character wanted, like I stated before. So I feel like, it really just depends, because there's people who may be outgoing and not look traditionally beautiful and still don't get what this guy in the movie got, which is friends and all that. I was looking online and they were stating that his character that he did in the movie, the one with the real life disfigurement, that character wasn't too far from how he is in real life. Now, I would guess that if you have, I keep saying disfigurement because I don't want to say disability per se, because I don't know if that disables them in their life, but I figure when you have something like that where it's physical, it's on your face, that you really do probably have to overcompensate your personality to be accepted. Now, Will we ever know that's really him versus him overcompensating? We don't know. I'm just taking a guess. I don't know people. I did used to work with a population of people that had mental. They were like mentally delayed, but a lot of them had physical disabilities too, like Parkinson's or spina bifida, cerebral palsy. They had the physical stuff to go with the being mentally delayed. So working, but a lot of them were nonverbal. So working with that population, I still can't even answer the question of, do they feel like they have to overcompensate or not, right? And another thing that this movie it's kind of like personality versus appearance, attractiveness. Which one really wins for real? And I would answer that question with saying I really think it depends on the person, their surroundings, the type of people they're around. I think it's one of those nature versus nurture things where it's so many levels to it that you can't really have one answer for that for everyone. Now, this character in the movie, I really feel like he was an introverted person, and being an introvert added with that is terrible. But I think since he lived his life so much with that disfigurement, that he really didn't have an identity outside of it, because that kind of was his identity. Now that it's gone, it's like, well, you're attractive, but attractiveness can only go so far without personality. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like, if you meet someone that's attractive and they have a banging personality, like, you pretty much got the whole package, right? Because like I stated before, we are in a society where people's look like it's important, right? I like this movie. It's an A24 film, which is they're kind of like Blumhouse in a way, where they do like these horror film, these what's the word? I want to say psychological horror thriller type stuff, right? Now, I wouldn't classify this movie as a horror. I think it's more of a psychological thing, because it gets you to thinking, right? Now, him killing the man, because, okay, before that happened, if you haven't watched the movie, he went crazy on set wearing a mask because he was so jealous of the other guy that he ran on set, tripped, and something fell on him. His whole body was in a cast. So he was staying with the girl that he liked, and she was with the other guy, right? The one he was jealous of. And so basically, he ended up strangling and stabbing to death the physical therapist, the one that was trying to help him, because when the guy left, the disfigured guy, physical therapist was like, man, can you believe that? She's with him for real. I thought it was a mask, and da-da-da-da. So, another thing he had to deal with in this movie is, like, even though he's attractive now, when he hears people talking about people that have disabilities and things like that, it still triggers him. It still affects him. Kind of like I would imagine if you lose a lot of weight, even if you're thin now, it probably still hurts your feelings or triggers you, or maybe you have flashback if you hear someone talking about someone who's overweight. So I'm trying to emphasize with him. I think that's not that he need to kill him, but I think that's what he was going through. So one part I didn't get is the doctor, the one with the hair all out and free. He went to his house. This was right after he ripped all the skin off and he had this new face. The doctor didn't recognize him, of course, because, he had this new face. But he lied and told the doctor that he was dead. I didn't really get that part. Another part I didn't really care for is the girl. She's like a writer, a playwright, right? What she did was she took her conversations that she had with him while he still had his face, his natural born face, and put it in a play. Like, I just feel like that was messed up. Like, I understand writers borrow from real life situations, right? Like, I get it, but I just didn't like her character for that. And in her mind, he's dead, right? Because he just disappeared off the face of Earth. Nobody sees him, even though he's still there. And it's like, so this guy's dead, but you're taking your conversations that you had with him and making a play about it. I just thought that was messed up. I did not care for her character too much. But this was really interesting movie. Again, it's called A Different Man. It's on Max. Last time I checked, it was #1. It might still be #1. So if you've seen this movie, jump in the comments and let me know what you think. All right, shout out to my 105 subscribers. Shout out to the rest of you as well who are not subscribed, but you know you can by hitting that button for me. All right, peace and blessings to you all. Until next time.